Okay, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay, we will start now. Okay, yesterday I asked one question regarding why the higher altitude trees are in conical shape. Anybody searched the answer? Anyone? பதில் சொல்லுங்க. Why they are all in conical shape when the trees are there in the higher altitude in the mountains? Cone shape la இருக்கும்ல. One reason you can see in a very easy answer. One reason it is easy to think it over. Immediately it will strike out in our mind. Okay, because of this reason these trees are in the conical shape. So எது வந்து first reason இருக்கும்?
Sir, to prevent snow to
okay,
knock up the leaves, sir.
Which means to manage the heavy snowfall, correct? And always snowfall will be there in the higher altitude. So to withstand that falling force, it should be the naturally it should be in the conical shape, which means to manage the heavy snowfall. Okay. So another one reason we can say the intense wind will be there. So the wind should be prevent the trees not to fall. Okay, so conical shape means easily it will pass through easily. Then third reason, the maximizing the limited sunlight, because in the upper or higher altitude the sunlight, because of the slope, it's are very they are not in the straight forward or in the straight line. Okay, so to capture the maximum sunlight, especially the low angle sunlight will be captured easily with the help of the conical shape. So these are the some of the reasons. So one is to manage the heavy snowfall, another one is to manage the intense wind in the higher altitude, the third one is to maximize the limit or to efficiently capture the low angle sunlight at the higher altitude. So these are the various reasons. So let us start today's portion which was left over yesterday. In the second half we did not continue. So today we will start from that particular point. And so yesterday we was thought of little bit about the Kalidasa. Okay, so if you have noted on some of the important points regarding Kalidasa, because many exams they used to ask, the question used to be taken place, who is he? Actually in this chapter he had praised the Himalaya range. Here in the poetic, he is a poet, so he has he has written the poem related to Himalaya. Okay, in that poem has been taken place in the Kumara Sambhava. It's one of the poem. Okay, Kumara Sambhava is nothing but it's a Lord Shiva's. It talks about Shivaji's son, Lord Shiva's son, the Kumar. Okay, and in that chapter he has praised about the Himalaya. So it goes like this, like in the north rises Himalaya, the lord of mountains. That is why the Himalayas used to be considered in the lord of about Lord Shiva. Okay, like a living god. He is measuring, or who measures the earth and stretches from the western to eastern ocean. So anybody could you answer to me which one he mentioned about the western ocean and eastern ocean with respect to Himalaya? Yara solla mudiyuma? In the poem he mentioned the stretches அதோட பகுதி விரிவடைஞ்சிருக்குது எங்க இருந்துன்னா from western ocean to eastern ocean. யாரா சொல்ல முடியுமா which one is mentioned by him as a western ocean, which one is mentioned by him as a eastern ocean? Strike ஆகுதா யாருக்காவது? From our Indian map you just think about our Indian map and tell me. வேகமா ஏன் இவ்வளவு நேரம்? யாராவது சொல்லுங்க பதில். அப்பா ஸ்ரீகா பதில் சொல்லமே. எது தப்பா இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல, ஜஸ்ட் இந்தியா மேப்பை நினைச்சுக்கோ.
Sir, can you repeat the question once more?
Question is, the Kalidasa mentioning in his poem about two oceans. One is Western Ocean, he says, another is Eastern Ocean, he says. Whatever little confused he will get. Yesterday we were talking about seas, Gulf and Bay, but here he is mentioning seas, oceans. Otherwise, in our word, let me ask, which is considered Western Sea and Eastern Sea in our India map?
The Eastern Sea is the Bay of Bengal and Western is the Arabian Sea. Is that right?
This is yeah, correct. This is what he has mentioned. ஏன்னா ocean சொன்னனால உங்களுக்கு ஒரு கன்ஃபியூஸ் வந்திருக்கும். Because ocean means 5 major ocean only we had seen yesterday in the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic and Arctic and Southern Ocean. So according to him, he considered these two seas as a ocean. That is why he mentioned in his poem a living God who is in the Himalaya, who measured the earth and stretches from the western seas to eastern seas. That means Arabian Sea to Bay of Bengal. And again it goes from the Himalaya, the wind comes down, okay, carrying spray from the descending Ganga and shaking the deodar trees. The deodar trees are the in the Himalaya ranges. So opening the peacock's tail feathers and cooling the mountain people after they hunt deers. Somewhat he has imagined how the peoples were lived and how the Himalayas breeze make the people to cool after the work, which means after the hunting. The people, they might got tired. Okay, how it make them to cool and how it make the peacock to dance. Okay, this is what entire the mountain scenario he has mentioned in his poem. That's what. Okay, anyway, this poem just I gave the explanation, but exam point of view, we must know some point you have to mark regarding Kalidas. Okay, you konjam fast note panniko. So Kalidasa, who is belong to 4th to 5th century C common era. Okay, so first point, he belongs to 4th to 5th common era century or common era. Okay, he is one of the Navaratna or 9 jewels or 9 gems of Chandragupta II. Chandragupta II. Already we saw this king yesterday, who is called as Vikramaditya. Okay, then need out. Screen sharing stopped. Wait. Now screen, is it visible? Screen visible agada ipa?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, ma'am. So one of the 9 jewels of Chandragupta II, and he is also called Vikramaditya II. Vikramaditya. And இதுல என்னன்னா அந்த 9 வேணா சும்மா எழுதிக்கோங்க. ஏன்னா ஹிஸ்டரியில once again we will study. யார் அந்த 9னா, one is the Kalidasa. கொஞ்சம் வேகமா எழுதிக்கோ, Kalidasa. The second one is Varaha Mihira. This also we saw yesterday. Varaha Mihira. And the third one, Amarasingha. Amarasimha. And the fourth one, Dhanvantri. இதெல்லாம் நீங்க கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. Dhanvantri, who is a physician, Ayurveda physician. Dhanvantri or TARI. And the fifth one, Varachi. Varachi, he was a Prakrit grammarian. Varachi is a Prakrit grammarian. And the sixth one, Kashappanaka. K-S-H-A, Kashappanaka. He's an astrologer. And the seventh one, Shanku. He's an architect. Shanku, who is the architect. The eighth one, Vitala Bhatta. Vitala Bhatta is the magician. Okay, so just noted down these things. And some of the major work has been done by the Kalidasa. Have you noted down? Then also ninth one is missing. Wait. And the ninth one, Katakarpa. The spelling you just mentioned, Ghatakar-P-A-R-A. Katakarpara. He is also one of the poet. Okay, so some more point you write about just to read once, that's all. But this one is important. What are the major work done by the Kalidasa? Okay, so major work done by the Kalidasa. So one is Kumara Sambhava. This is what this poem took place. Kumara Sambhava. And the second one, Raghuvamsa. The third one, Meghaduta. Meghaduta is one of the drama. Actually, in the drama, love drama. Okay, இதுல வந்து மேகத்தை வந்து பிரைடுக்கு வந்து தூதுவா அனுப்புவார் அவரு போயட்ல. Then some of the dramas are there. Malvika, Agnimitra. இது ஏன் இப்பவே உங்களை எழுத சொல்றேன்னா, once again we will study in the ancient India about these Indian literature. again in the art and culture, again we will study the Indian literature படிக்கும்போது again காளிதாசா ஓர்ப்பு இருக்கும். So திருப்பி நமக்கு ஞாபகம் வரும். அதனால தான் once I am asking you to write now also. Okay. சும்மா ஓகே 6th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் தானே சொல்லிட்டு காளிதாசாவையும் குமார சம்பாவையும் மட்டும் பார்த்துட்டு போயிடலாம். Okay, that is not sufficient for us. That is why இப்போவே ஒருக்கா எல்லா ஒர்க்கும் எழுதிட்டேன்னா once again when we are talking about this Kalidasa in the art and culture or in the ancient history, it will be very easy to remember and recall. Okay, so Meghatudha and Malvika Agnimitram. Malvika Agnimitra. So notes கொஞ்சம் நல்லா நீட்டா எழுதி வச்சிருக்கீங்கன்னா it is good for you to revise. Then Abhijana Sagundalam. ABHA Abhijana Sagundalam. Then Vikram More Vasya. Vikram More Vasya. Then Ritu Samhara. These are the major contribution by Kalidasa. Okay, noted down. So let us go to the next. So these are the various animals which were in the mountain region. Either you need to write some of the important points over this. You notes தனியா எடுங்க. இதோட டாபிக் வந்து you just mention mountain animals in topic போட்டுக்கோ. So mountain animals போட்டு one by one. ஏன்னா exam point of view these are all very important. எப்படி important in prelims point of view they will ask இப்போ Himalayan Thar IUCN red listல என்ன கேட்டகரியில இருக்குது. Anyway we will study separately in the environment part. Okay, so there is a body called IUCN red list. So இது வந்து International Union of Conservation of Nature அது வந்து என்ன ஆகும்னா ரெட் லிஸ்ட்னு ஒரு புக் மெயின்டைன் பண்ணும். இட் இஸ் மெயின்டைனிங் a book called red list. In that book all the species flora and fauna are categorized into different topics like என்னென்ன categoryல they categorized into different categories like least concern, threatening, near threatening, vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered, okay, extinct wild, இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய கேட்டகரி இருக்கு. So இப்போ in this chapter some of the animals and birds are there. So these animals and birds are comes under which category அது மட்டும் நீங்க கொஞ்சம் நோட் பண்ணா போதும். Okay, once again when we were learning about environment it is easy for recall. Okay, so இப்போ வந்து free grain falcon வந்து according to IUCN red list it is endangered. அது மட்டும் போட்டுக்கோ, hyphen போட்டு it is endangered. And this found in every continent except Antarctica. It is and it's one of the fastest bird in the world, around 320 kilometer per hour. Okay, except Antarctica, it exists everywhere. Okay, then Himalayan tar it is near threatened. NT near threatened, it is near threatened. And some other tar also there in India, that is Nilagiri tar. Okay, Nilagiri tar is in the this also will tell Nilgiri. that is in South India, Western Ghats la irukum. Okay, but Nilagiri Thar is endangered category, EN. Nilagiri Thar is endangered category. Himalayan Thar is in the near threatened category. Then is a mountain hari. Okay, moyal தான் வேற ஒண்ணும் இல்ல. காட்டு முயல் மலை முயல், that's all. This is category the least concern. LC, least concern. And golden eagle, this also in the least concern. Then Canadian lynx, this also in the least concern. It's a native of North America. Majority of the species are found there, North America. Then York. There are two types, domestic and wild. Okay, so this wild is vulnerable category. Then ibex, this is the least concern. This is mainly in the Himalaya region, but not in Western Ghats. This ibex. The grey fox, this is also the least concern category. The globally, the leopard is in the vulnerable category. Then black bear. Black bear, there are two major classification. One is the American black bear. American black bear and Asiatic black bear. So American black bear comes under least category. The Asiatic black bear comes under vulnerable category. Okay, so these are the noted down. So it is what in the mountains are homes to diverse fauna, for instance, golden eagle, Jasnavisa, and peregrine falcon, Canadian lynx, snow leopard. Okay, and snow leopard is in the that we already saw the least category. But the snow leopard is a vulnerable category, just mentioned. Then Himalayan Thar, mountain hierarchic. Okay. So now some of in the green box you read the Ganga is the Indian name of the largest river originating in the Himalayas. In English, Ganges is also used. Nearly 2,500 kilometers long. This river numerous tributaries. Tributaries na Tunai Nadigal. Kilai Nadin Solwala. That is other rivers joining. Other rivers are joining. Some of them like Yamuna and Gagra also originate in the Himalayas. Others like the Son river or Son or originate from the Vindhya range to the south of the Ganga plain. இது எல்லாமே அதோட மெயின் இதுல வந்து அட்டாச் ஆகுது. Okay, anyway, we have to study everything related to these tributaries of Ganga, Brahmaputra and other major rivers. So now next one, the life in mountain. இது கொஞ்சம் ஃபாஸ்டா. terrain na என்ன? Terrain a piece of stretch of land. அதான் terrain from the point of view physical feature. So terrain usually rugged or rough and has a steep slopes. This means the regular farming can only be practiced in some valleys. அதாவது மவுண்டன்ல வந்து எப்படி கல்டிவேஷன் பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னா the step farming சொல்லுவோம். ஸ்டெப் ஆனா கட் farming. இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்லோப்பா இருக்கிறதுனால இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்டெப்பா இருக்கும். If you have been to the Munnar and other hilly region, you might have observed. That is called terrace farming. Okay, one of the farming in the hilly area. And another one major important income in the mountain is the tourism. Okay, valley na enna paathuko. The valley means the lower area between the two hills or mountains. Okay, where the rivers and streams are flowing through it. Adha valleys. And some of the general knowledge is here point. Pachendri Pal, இது கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க, the woman who climbing the Everest, Mount Everest in 1984, and she was awarded with Padma Shri, and the same year she was awarded with Padma Bhushan also. And அவங்கள ஃபாலோ பண்ணி அருணிமா சின்ஹா, who lost her leg in the accident at the age of 22, but again with the help of the Pachendri Pal, she managed to climb Mount Everest, and almost she went to all the peaks, highest peaks in every continent. Okay, so she was also awarded with the Padma Shri, and including the Mount Vinson in Antarctica. If I exam point of view கேக்குறேன்னா இவங்கள பத்தி கேட்க மாட்டாங்க, மேபி mostly the question would be around Mount Vinson, where it would be in Antarctica, Arctica, in other, okay, or match the following, or which of the following pairs are correct, not incorrect. So adula they can include the Mount Vinson. Okay, so that is why you take this important highlighted point separately. And then some of the major events took place, or tragedies took place by the in the mountain region. The flash flood, a sudden local flood due to the cloud burst. Cloud burst na here they have given the definition. A sudden and violent rainstorm. திடீர்னு பெருமழை, அதாவது பெருவெடிப்புன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஓகே, எதிர்பாராத விதத்துல huge amount of rain water will be released by sky. Okay, so அதுதான் the cloud burst. அந்த cloud burst ஆல வரது the flash flood. Then landslideங்கிறது the sudden collapse of the mass of earth or rock from the mountain side. நிலச்சரிவுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, அதான் landslide. நிலச்சரிவு திடீர்னு, if you are on the way to the some tourist spot on the mountain region, immediately a sudden collapse of the landslide took place. Upon there might be the loss of life and other things also. Then avalanche, it is took place in the top of the mountain, rather ice cap. A sudden fall of snow or ice or rocks from the mountain side. Okay, whenever a snow start melting, the avalanche will took place. This and some of the other major events, uncontrolled tourism, heavy snowfall, cloud burst. Okay, these things, and the cold weather, extreme cold weather. These are some of the challenges in the mountain region. And come to, and this is another one general information. Many traditional communities around the world consider mountain to be sacred places and worship them. Everywhere it is happening. Many communities, especially the tribal communities, used to worship the mountains. And Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world, around 888 and 48 or 49 meter, has many names. General knowledge, that's all. Okay. Molungama means mother goddess of the world. And Nepal it is called Sagar Mata, goddess of the sky. Similarly, the Mount Kailas in Tibet, sacred followers of Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Bon. Yeah. So Mount Kailas is not only sacred mountain for the Hinduism, it's also for the sacred mountain to Buddhism, Jainism, and Bon. There's a Bon means here they have mentioned is the ancient Tibetan religion. Mention Paniko. Okay. So such reverence on the spiritually for mountain summit is also found everywhere in India and other part of the world also. So up to this, the mountain region we completed. Now we are entering into the plateaus. Okay, plateaus in Tamil la vandu Beedabhumi nu solluvaanga. Beedabhumi. Okay, what's the difference between the mountain we have seen, hills we have seen already? What's the plateau? So it's the highest elevation with a steep slope that is called mountain, and it's a somewhat lowest elevation and less steep slopes that is called hills. And so smaller, somewhat compared to mountain and hills, somewhat smaller elevation and less steep, that is called a plateau. So in definition you can read here, a plateau is a landform that rises up from the surrounding land and has a more or less flat surfaces. Some of its sides are often steep slopes. Okay, so like mountains and like mountains, plateaus can be young or old in terms of earth history. And a mountain நம்ம நேத்து பார்த்தோம். So the Himalaya is a young folded mountains in பார்த்தோம். And the oldest mountains in the world, that is also in India, that is the Aravalli range we saw yesterday. Okay, so எப்படி mountains வந்து old mountains and young mountains சொல்றோமோ அதே மாதிரி similarly we are having the plateaus also, the young and old plateaus. So two examples they have mentioned. One is the Tibetan plateau, the largest and highest plateau in the world. Okay, noted down separately. And some more points you write here. The Tibetan plateau is also called as the roof of the world. Roof of the world. அதாவது உலகின் கூரைன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Roof of the world. எதுக்கு அப்படின்னு why it is being called so means one reason the height or highest elevation or height or higher elevation around 4,500 meter. Okay, then second, it has surrounded by two highest summits. Summits and sigaram. One is Everest. Another is K2. Carbon K2 peak. Okay, so because some other reasons also are there, because these are the major two reasons why the Tibetan plateau also called as the roof of the world. Is additional information I am giving. And another one plateau is the Deccan plateau. The Deccan plateau also called as Deccan traps. Okay, traps na எதை வச்சு சொல்றேன் அப்படின்னா actually Deccan plateau is due to the formation due to the volcanic eruption. Okay, the traps ங்கிறது என்ன அப்படின்னா the Swedish language it is stairs. In Swedish language stairs is step like landscape. Okay, and it's one of the oldest Deccan the plateau because around Deccan plateau formed around 66 million years ago. 66 million year ago. Okay, and 66 million year ago na appo earth oda age enna? Earth age is 4.5 billion year. It is earth oda age. Okay, it's a million or 66 million year ago there was a earthquake and volcanic eruption. And the volcanic eruption ஆல உருவானது the Deccan plateau. So அதனால some of the reason we will study in the geography why the rivers are originated in the western Ghats or in the western side but drained into eastern side. ஏன்னா Deccan plateau ஓட shape அந்த மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். Okay, ஏன்னா அது வந்து deposit by the volcanic eruption so that was one of the reason that we will study in the geography. And already here they have mentioned why some of the general information. This is what I said already. The Tibetan place had average altitude around 4,500 meters, and it has a nickname of roof of the world from east to west. Okay, and Deccan plateau of the central and south India is one of the oldest plateau in the world, and it was formed through volcanic activity the millions of years ago, which means 66 million years ago. And like mountains, the plateaus also are rich in minerals deposit. அதனால தான் the Chota Nagpur plateau and Deccan plateau having lots of mineral resources are there. They have been called the storehouse of minerals. இதை நான் நோட் பண்ணிக்கோ hyphen போட்டு. Okay, plateaus rich in mineral, storehouse of the minerals. As a result, the mining activities are more in plateaus. And where many of the world's largest mines are found in the plateaus only. Example, for the Eastern African plateau, இதெல்லாம் hyphen போட்டு எழுதிக்கோ. East African plateau போட்டு famous for gold and diamond mining. In India, huge reserve for iron coal and manganese found in Chota Nagpur plateau. So Chota Nagpur plateau put in hyphen iron, coal and manganese. Then the environment plateau, the Deccan plateau, Chota Nagpur plateau, environment culture, environment situation, they are very diverse across the world. Many plateaus have the rocky soil, which makes them less fertile. And if it is less fertile, means not favorable to farming. And exception is that lava plateaus, that is through volcanic activity, often have the rich black soil. So, which is a volcanic lava plateau? Which one is India as a lava plateau? That's the Deccan plateau. India is the example Deccan plateau, because Deccan plateau formed due to volcanic activity. This volcanic activity gave the rich black soil. So the rich black soil has more favorable to the farming. And plateaus are some home to many spectacular waterfalls also. Idhula konjam points irukku. Idhe thaniya note paniko. Adhaadu Victoria Falls in the plateau, Zambezi River in Southern Africa. Thaniya potu vechiko. And Hundru Falls in the Subarna Rekha River in Chota Nagpur plateau. Thaniya eludiko. And Jog Falls on the Saravati River in the Western Ghats. So these are the few waterfalls. And Nokkalikai Falls, that is in Sirapunji Plateau in Meghalaya. So idella thaniya noted down separately. This is Nokkalikai Falls in the Sirapunji Plateau. So now plains. So mountains over, plateaus over, then plains. Plains means the land form that are extensive flat. Okay, and they do not have any large hills or deep valleys. Okay, generally they are 300 meters above the sea level. Sea level definition he has given here. The average level of the surface of the ocean, also called mean sea level, the sea level. So flood plains are one of the plain formed by river in the mountain ranges. And in the plains, every form of they bring sediments, and these sediments carried all the way to the plains where the river deposits them, make the soil very fertile. Okay, as the result, these plains are ideal for growing crops of all the kinds. And the major economic activities or economic occupation will be in the riverine plains. And you look out the diagram here. Here the plateaus are in the brown color. So many plateaus are there, but only 2 or 3 plateaus they have mentioned. One is the Tibetan plateau and the Mongolian plateau, then East African plateau, then Patagonian plateau. Okay, is in South America. So idella thanithaniya note paniko. And river plain, the Mississippi River Plain, Amazon River Plain, the Nile River Plain, and in Ganges River Plain, and Yangtze River Plain, the Brahmaputra range in China. Then mountain range, அதாவது கேட்டோன்னே தெரியும் உரல் மவுண்டன் எங்க இருக்கு, அட்லாஸ் எங்க இருக்குது, ராக்கி மவுண்டன் எங்க இருக்குது, ஆண்டஸ் மவுண்டன் எங்க இருக்கு. These are the major mountains. Okay, no need to memorize in a specific way. Ural mountain means it's a Europe. It separate Europe and Asia. So Ural mountain and Atlas mountain. Okay, in Africa. Yesterday we saw some of the mountains, Kilimanjaro. Then Rocky Mountains. Then okay. This is what I said. The geography related topics, you carry the plain map in your hand, physical map. Adile you note பண்ணிட்டே வாங்க. So இப்பவே note பண்ணியாச்சுன்னா when no need to take once again notes when you are preparing for the prelims or any other exams. No need to spend more time. அதுக்குன்னு உட்கார்ந்து பண்ண வேண்டிய தேவையில்லை. And these are the satellite image of the Ganga plain. Then life in the plains, you just read it. Normally the fishing, food crops, then fishing will be there. here, such as some fiber crops like a cotton, jute, and hemp. Hemp means this is also one of the jute related crops. And traditional agriculture, then groundwater. This, okay, these are all very, you can read. The confluence means where the two or more rivers are meeting at one point. You might have heard the concept called Kumbh Mela. Okay, this definition there, confluence is the meeting point of two or more rivers. This is what all about. Then some desert they have mentioned. That in this chapter we explored the three main landform, but one more landform we left, that is desert. Deserts are considered to be large and dry expanses with very little precipitation. Yesterday we saw the definition for precipitation. Okay, anything from the sky in the form of rain, snow, okay, hailstorm. These are all precipitation, and their flora and fauna also unique. அதாவது தாவரங்களும் விலங்குகளும். Some deserts are hot. எது? Sahara desert in Africa, Thar desert in India. Okay, some deserts are cold desert, the Gobi desert in Asia. Okay, and Antarctica continent also a desert, cold desert, where people cannot live there. And despite harsh living conditions, humans have adapted to most of the deserts. In India, communities living in the Thar desert or migrate through it. Okay, and here one general information in Tamil, in Sangam literature or in Sangam poetry நீங்க படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. There are 5 learns or 5 திணைs. திணை means learn. And அதுல என்னென்ன, so இத கொஞ்சம் ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோ. ஏன்னா nowadays in the UPSC every in the preliminary one questions comes from the Sangam literature every year. Last 3 to 4 years one question related to South India, that too related to Sangam literature. Okay, so even last year and 1 year before they were asking about Mussoorie, which these are all related to port in the Sangam literature. And last year also one question related to Sangam literature. So Sangam related portion wherever took place in the NCERT, you just completely you take a notes and completely study everything. Okay, so இது உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். திணை means land. So குறிஞ்சி, முல்லை, மருதம், நெய்தல், பாலை. Okay, குறிஞ்சி means the landscape is related to mountain region. In Tamil you might have read மலையும் மலை சார்ந்த இடமும். Okay, அப்ப mountain regionல அவங்களோட main occupation என்னவா இருக்கும்? Hunting and food gathering. அந்த மாதிரி. So just remember, மலைவாழ் பகுதியில you can recall the tribal region. So if they are in the mountain, their main occupation, main work is hunting and gathering. And முல்லை is a grassland and forest. அதாவது காடு சார்ந்த நிலம் தமிழ்ல படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. So grassland or forestல the people, their main occupation is cattle rearing, அதாவது ஆடு மேய்க்கிறது. Okay, then third one is மருதம், come down. Okay, முதல்ல mountain இந்த காடு, மலை அடிவாரத்துல இருந்து பிளெயினுக்கு வந்துட்டு அப்படின்னா the fertile, அதாவது plain means flood plain வந்துட்டு அப்படின்னா the fertile land, so where agriculture will be there. Okay, அதாவது வயல் சார்ந்த இடம்னு படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. Okay, so where which is the main occupation? Farming. Okay, and then நெய்தல் வந்து coastal region. So coastal region எங்க? அங்க agriculture பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, இல்ல ஆடு மேய்ச்சிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, இல்ல only fishing and seafaring. Then பாலை. இப்போ இந்த நாளை விட்டுட்டு one more the additional land will be there, that is desert. Okay, so the arid land, desert like region. So அங்க the அங்க வந்து இங்க என்ன மீனிங் கொடுத்த journeying and fighting na mostly the desert region. In the Tamil it has mentioned very clear the வழிப்பறி. அதான். Okay, அதனால journeying and fighting it has mentioned. அந்த கயவர்கள் அந்த கூட்டங்கள் அதிகம் இருக்க இடம் the பாலை. So these 5 திணைs constitute a different classification of landform. அதான் சொன்னேன், the different 5 landform which is mentioned in the Sangam literature. And they also illustrate the deep connection between the humanity and the natural environment. அதெல்லாம் do not remember detail of திணைs, but the concept is reflect need to be understand. அவனே சொல்லிட்டான், do not remember the details of திணைs, but as a UPSC aspirant you have to remember the detail of the திணைs. ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோ. அது இது 6ஆம் கிளாஸ் பையனுக்கு சொன்னது, சரியா? And அவ்வளவுதான் இதுல. Okay, time we are coming. Okay, let us see the one more chapter.